What's up YouTube? Capital G here, looking at a new PSY-Frame coming out, an Invasion of Venom called PSY-Frame Multi-Threader, and this is a pleasant surprise because I kind of thought that Konami was done with PSY-Frames. I kind of thought that at this point they pretty much are what they are. Unlike some of the other archetypes that come out of the smaller booster sets like Phantom Knights and Speedroids, those are going to get more support because they're played by, like characters in the anime. Thus, it's in their best interest to keep pushing them, but as far as I know, there aren't any characters in Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc V that play PSY-Frames. Like, unless somebody popped up in the last few episodes that plays PSY-Frames, nobody in the show plays this. So I'm kind of like, where did this come from? This kind of came out of left field, but it's very good. And I don't use the term essential that much on this channel. This card, it's better than just good, than just splashable, or maybe this card, in my opinion, is essential. Like, I don't think that it's, if you're going to run PSY-Frame Multi-Threader, I think it's how many copies you're going to run. Like, this card is really just that good. Like, it seems like it's just basically mandatory at this point to run this card because it's just so good in the archetype. So let me go ahead and discuss what it does. Okay, so it's a level 6 Psychic type. Okay, it's light because the whole archetype is light and Psychic. It is 0 attack, 2500 defense. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure that PSY-Frame driver's stats reverse. I should have looked that up, but I believe that that's driver's stats reverse. To be honest, the stats of PSY-Frame monsters outside of like the synchros is pretty irrelevant. You don't summon them on the field to be beaters or anything like that. You summon them to synchro and then, use the synchros to kind of like do all the work. So the stat line is really just irrelevant. I would imagine you're going to summon it in defense mode, but 2500 but is really not like, that's pretty respectable. Okay, it says you can only use the 3 effect of PSY-Frame Multi-Threader once per turn. If you could use the 3 effect more than once per turn, that would be a little ridiculous. Effect number 1, here's the important part on why this card is pretty essential. This card is treated as PSY-Frame driver while in your hand or the graveyard. That means that if this card is in the graveyard, all your other PSY-Frames can summon driver from the deck. They can summon driver from the hand or from the graveyard. So essentially this card is driver in 2 of those 3 places. So this card is essentially driver anytime that you have access to it. So that's pretty important. Effect number 2, if a PSY-Frame card on your field would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can discard this card from your hand instead. Okay, so this is really important because it protects, like, one of the ways that I've noticed in the past that PSY-Frames will lose is they lose circuit. Once PSY-Frames lose circuit, if they haven't already put like an Omega on field, the deck kind of falls apart because sure, they can summon their PSY-Frames, they can summon the Gamma and, maybe like the Alpha or the Beta or whatever, but when you get the driver out, you don't really accomplish anything. Like, yes, you go 1 for 1 your opponent, maybe you take a card out of their hand or you blow up a monster on their field that was trying to attack with like Beta or something like that, but then your monsters just get banished and like you don't really take that momentum and convert it into anything. PSY-Frame Circuit is the card that basically lets you convert that momentum into a synchro. It lets you get information out of your opponent's hand with its effect. It lets you get resources back from your banish. So like PSY-Frame Omega is pretty much which it gets the entire deck rolling. Actually, Circuit gets the deck rolling, but like PSY-Frame Omega is what keeps the deck's momentum. And this card being able to protect that is huge because when they lose Circuit, a lot of times they lose the duel, and this is just a great answer to things like Twin Twister and Mystical Space Typhoon and Slip Rider, etc., etc. And then the third effect, which is really good, if a PSY-Frame tuner is special summoned to your side of the field while this card is in the graveyard, you can special summon this card from the graveyard. If this card was special summoned this way, it is banished when it leaves the field. So essentially, it has its own built-in Plague Spreader effect, which this effect is really helpful. Just being able to special summon it from the graveyard via its own effect is really good. I mean, most of the time you can summon this card as a driver from the graveyard anyways, but if you're ever in the position, like, just having the option is really good. To me, this is a card that's like, I think that people are probably going to go 2-2 split between driver and multi-threader. I was thinking about a 3-1 split, like 3 multi-threader and 1 driver, but you still can't summon this from the graveyard, so I would say that you probably want to go like 2-2. I just like the fact that how much utility this card has, like the fact that it can special summon itself from the graveyard for free. Even though it does get banished, it's not a big deal. Like, PSY-Frames have multiple ways of getting banished cards back into the graveyard, and once this card is in the graveyard, you can just activate the effect over and over and over again, so it's really not that big of a deal. But the fact that it gives protection to Circuit, the fact that it can give protection to PSY-Frame Overload, the fact that you can pitch it for Overload and still use it from the graveyard, like, this card has so much utility. I don't care if the stats, if it has 0 attack, like, it's pretty much completely irrelevant. I just like the fact that this card gives you protection for your most important card, which is Circuit. This card is basically a PSY-Frame driver anytime that you have access to it, and it can just kind of summon itself by its effect from the graveyard. So I don't know, if you can't blow up Circuit, beating PSY-Frames is infinitely harder, and as long as they have access to this card, you're not going to be able to. And it's not like you can just counter it, because you're not going to know that they have this in their hand unless they like search it from Overload or something like that. You're not going to know that they have this in their hand. So I'm going to say that this card is amazing. I'm going to say that it's absolutely essential. If you have any aspirations of playing PSY-Frames in the future, you're probably going to want to pick this up. And I don't know, man, this is going to be one of the cards that just makes the deck so much more consistent, because getting Circuit off the field is going to be way more difficult than it was in the past. So you guys let me know. I'm very happy to see more PSY-Frames. I think that they're one of the most underrated decks of the format. And I don't know, this makes me think, I'm crossing my fingers and I'm hoping maybe they'll give them another synchro. Like, I would love to see another level 8 or another level 7 synchro. That would be really cool. Thank you guys for watching as always.